Good and decent people of YouTube, welcome to Political Drain, where we sift through the sewage at the end of a long pipeline of corporate media in order to expose the liars and the charlatans hell-bent on manipulating you for power and for profit. My name is Bruce Lively, and no, you're not crazy. The other day, while Donald Trump was getting booked, fingerprint, and his mugshot taken, Marjorie Taylor Greene decided to go down to Georgia where all of this was taking place and give a little speech, give some support, and they ran her out of town. She's now considered a rhino. Now, when I say ran out of town, I don't mean just like metaphorically. They called her a rhino, made her turn around while she was being chased by a mob out of town.
And it's not, because people are suffering in this country, and the presidential election is not about a popularity contest. It's not about who you like. It's about electing the man that will bring back the right policies for our country and help America.
So go tell Kevin McCarthy to endorse him. Your best buddy, Marjorie. Go tell Kevin McCarthy to endorse him. You know the guy that you shield for Speaker of the House? The guy that disavowed President Trump after J6?
What happened to the Jewish space center?
Remember that, Marjorie?
Wow.
Do you remember that, Marjorie?
So we're back here. You heard that.
There she goes. Ignored real media and then ran away like a coward. Ignored the people that she used to and then ran away like a Kevin McCoward.
Come on, Marjorie. You like to talk a bunch of shit online, but when you're us in person, you want to run and hide, Marjorie.
They're literally running away. Whoa, base, let's go.
Boo! Go home.
Boo!
As they yelled at her to tell those same things to McCarthy, the majority leader who she helped get elected. But as they told her that, I was reminded that she's not the only one. I was reminded of a show I did. I believe it's one of the best communications of what actually is happening here and how it actually could have been predicted. That I can't top it. So I wanted to show it to you. Let's watch it together. So let's talk about this video of the Georgia election officials angrily and passionately calling for Trump to talk to his base and tell them to stop with the death threats already. Check it out.
It has all gone too far. Death threats, physical threats, intimidation.
Ooh.
It's too much.
It's too much.
It's not right. They've lost the moral high ground to claim that it is. I don't have all the best words to do this because I'm angry. Mr. President.
Yes.
It looks like you likely lost the state of Georgia. We're investigating. There's always a possibility. I get it. You have the rights to go through the courts. What you don't have the ability to do, and you need to step up and say this, is stop inspiring people to commit potential acts of violence. Someone's going to get hurt. Someone's going to get shot. Someone's going to get killed.
Bam! There it is. Stop tweeting. Stop talking about this as if it's frivolous. Stop encouraging acts of violence. Someone is going to get hurt. Someone is going to get killed out here. Now that's rich. That is rich. Tell me, is this a new phenomenon? Is Trump inciting violence with his tweets and rhetoric something new?
Knock the crap out of him.
I'd like to punch him in the face. I don't know if I'll do the fighting myself or if other people will.
Maybe he should have been roughed up because it was absolutely disgusting what he was doing.
If you see somebody getting ready to throw a tomato, knock the crap out of him, would you? Seriously. Try not to hurt him. If you do, I'll defend you in court. Don't worry about it. In the good old days, this doesn't happen because they used to treat them very, very rough. And when they protested once, they would not do it again so easily. Part of the problem and part of the reason it takes so long is nobody wants to hurt each other anymore, right?
Do you plan on paying for the legal fees of this older gentleman in North Carolina who sucker punched the protester?
I've actually instructed my people to look into it, yes.
No, I see, it's not new. So maybe it's because it's about election rigging. That's super important.
Colorado's GOP is getting death threats from Donald Trump supporters angry about his loss to Ted Cruz here in Colorado.
This is a crooked system. These are dirty tricksters. Oh, it's rigged.
I need you to do me a favor. Get your gun, put it in your mouth, pull the trigger. I'll call you back in 2 minutes. If you can't do that, I'm going to send somebody over to their house and help you.
He will disclose the hotels and the room numbers of those delegates who are directly involved in the steal. We urge you to visit their hotel and find them.
This is a crooked system. These are dirty tricksters. Oh, it's rigged.
No, I didn't hear any politician in Georgia or anywhere else in America condemning Trump and his rhetoric then either. Let's see, it's not new, him doing this, and it's not because it's about elections that makes it more important, this extreme passion and newfound anger from the Georgia Republican elites. Let's see, what actually happened is Republicans all over America have been wallowing in the sewer, dumbing down their own constituents and benefiting so completely from the grossly uneducated and increasingly violent constituency they were creating. You see, they forgot when you walk around in the sewage, you get shit on your boots. You created this problem, Mr. Georgia election official. You created this problem with your turning your face away and supporting a maniacal sociopath, Orange, willing to say or do whatever in order to gain power, even if it meant destroying an entire party or even a democracy. And you knew that. You knew that. You're smart enough. I mean, let's take a look, shall we, at the angry and passionate response of these Georgia Republicans in the face of death threats. Not condemned by the president, and in some cases, encouraged by this president before. Check this out.
And when you get something like this attention, Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and ragheads Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar, I was totally excited and pleased when I heard about 49 Muslims were killed and many. Let's hope and pray that it continues here in the good old USA. So I want to go home to my 2 boys.
And this is Trump's rhetoric to that.
Why don't they go back and help fix the totally broken and crime-infested places from which they came, then come back and show us how it is done? Adding, these places need your help badly. You can't leave fast enough. The congresswomen came from Cincinnati, Detroit, and New York City.
Now, remind me of that impassioned response, Georgia Republican leaders. Remind me of that impassioned response, that angry response. Where was it again? Oh, okay. This one I know. With your moral high ground you spoke of so eloquently, Mr. Georgia election official, you had to condemn and rebuke your party if they didn't speak out.
Muslim women to serve in Congress, Democrat Ilhan Omar says that she has faced increased death threats following a controversial tweet from the president. President Trump tweeted Friday, "We will never forget," and interspersed video of comments by Congresswoman Omar with footage from 9/11. Omar.
No? Still nothing? As a matter of fact, death threats have just become a part of Republican politics, hasn't it?
Health inspectors in Milwaukee attended a Donald Trump rally. The health inspectors immediately got death threats. Dr. Anthony Fauci disagreed with Donald Trump. Dr. Fauci immediately got death threats.
A steelworkers union president disagreed with Donald Trump. The steelworkers union president immediately got death threats. The commencement speaker at Hampshire College disagreed with Donald Trump. The commencement speaker immediately got death threats, 50 of them. Heather Heyer disagreed with Donald Trump. Heather Heyer was murdered at Charlottesville. Heather Heyer's mother immediately got death threats. The reporter to whom she told about the death threats immediately got death threats.
People, they said nothing because they wallowed in the sewage. They gained from the violence and division. They ate it up. Your constituents, Mr. Georgia election official, and all of the Republican leaders, at this point, your constituents got less and less sophisticated in their understanding of anything at all having to do with this violence. Because it wasn't you. Because it wasn't them. You wallowed in that sewage and that muck of glorifying violence and fantasizing the John Wayne style protection of your white Christian lifestyle. Wait, stop. We'll get to that in part 2. Corporate media. Just give me a minute. But first, the proof, you say? Georgia politicians in their moral high ground cared nothing about these things I just spoke about and actively promoted this violent and frankly immature and juvenile mind state they were putting their constituency in. Here is your governor, Georgia, who won, by the way, with this commercial.
I'm Brian Kemp. I'm so conservative. I blow up government spending. I own guns
that no one's taking away. My chainsaw's ready to rip up some regulations.
I got a big truck, just in case I need to round up criminal illegals and take them home myself. Yep,
I just said that. I'm Brian Kemp. If you want a politically incorrect conservative, that's me.
Sewage. Muck. Juvenile. But listen, political correctness now has become a word that simply means decent, intelligent, nuanced, or kind in any way. And yeah, you're definitely against all of that. Here's another one. Oh, moral high ground of Georgia Republicanism.
I'm Brian Kemp. This is Jake, a young man interested in one of my daughters.
Sewage. Muck. Juvenile. Fantasy. No. What actually happened is Republicans all over America have been wallowing in the sewer, dumbing down their own constituents and benefiting so completely from the grossly uneducated and increasingly violent constituency they were creating. They forgot that when you walk around in sewage, you get shit on your boots. You created this problem with your turning your face away and supporting a maniacal sociopath willing to say or do whatever in order to gain power, even if it meant destroying an entire party, even if it meant destroying a democracy. And you knew that. You see, you supported him because he told you, or you told yourself rather, that lower taxes for rich people and Supreme Court justices were worth the deal with the devil. You see, so you got both of those things now. The very first bill that was passed was to lower taxes for rich people. And then he forced the second Supreme Court justice in his 4-year term. That went against everything that the Republican senators said they believed in just 8 years ago. Lindsey Graham said, "Use my words against me if this ever comes up during a Republican presidency." And then it came up. And the words were proven to everyone in America to be nothing more than flagrant, bold-faced lies. Flagrant, bold-faced lies to the American people that you just brushed off with glee. Republicans, teaching yourselves and your constituents what they in turn should accept from Republicans. Lying to get your own way. Ding, no problem. Subverting any moniker of decency in and respect for the norms of democratic process. Ding, take that off your checkbook. You taught them this for 20 years. I'm not there yet. Part 2. Corporate media, I got you. I'm coming to you in part 2. Back to part 1. Now, when that insanely ignorant, particularly violent, and fully armed mass of people you created finally shows you why it's not a good idea to base an entire party on that kind of rhetoric, when you've told people that Democrats are the Nazis coming to take their freedoms and kill their families, but actual, real Nazis are very fine people, that absolute craziness you wallowed in, you relied on for your vote because the truth about your policies wouldn't hold up if you just said them outright in an educated society. And that means you couldn't constantly line your pockets anymore with their blood, sweat, fantasies, and ignorance. When that sewage you wallowed in gets stuck on your feet for the first time, you cry passionately, you raise your fist in the air to nobody. The monster you created is doing exactly what you created it to do. Consume everything. Destroy anyone in the way of the ultimate goal. Absolute blind worship of the leader. Held in check by the fantasy of violent revolution and absolute disdain for education, media, or even the ability to hear reason over the sound of their fantastic guns cocking in unison to defend something you completely made up, Republicans. And now it's at your doorstep. And there's nothing you can do about it. It's too late.